What's up, guys? How's it going? This is Easy Drawings, and today we're going to go over how to draw kind of a fine art-esque Batman portrait. You know what I mean? And I'm going to be using this pencil. It's called the Sketch and Wash Generals number 588. I got it from the art store. It's pretty cool. I mean, it's not like amazing. And I'm going to be using this gum eraser, which I hate, but I'm going to use it today because I can't find my real eraser. Hold on. Whoa. One second, I gotta clean this sharpener. Okay, so let's keep going. I fixed that. So let's start the fine art Batman. I'm gonna start with a circle, and I'm gonna make the circle a little low on the page. I'm gonna do very light, right? Very light. I'm gonna find the center line. The reason I'm putting it low on the page is I'm gonna find the ears. And the ears kind of, they vary, right, from Batman to Batman version, you know, but they're generally about the same. I'm not even sure what version of Batman I'm drawing right now. Just a general Batman-esque. Pulling down to the bottom of the jaw right here, I put a center line because that's going to be, because we're all symmetrical, center line of his face. And then what I'm going to do, I'm going to find the bottom of the jaw, pull that down. Hopefully you can see this is very light. Very, very light because I know I'm going to go into it more. Back of the neck, pull down. Trapezius. Trapezius on the other side. Top of the head, right? Top of the, where the head turns. I'm going to divide the head into thirds. So the top, what is this called? The hairline. But Batman doesn't have a hairline, right? At least with his mask on. So we're going to put it up here. The hairline is where the actual skull begins to start turning. You know what I mean? Where there's a very clear division. So I'm going to mark that. Bottom of the chin. And I'm going to split that into thirds. And this will be the eye line. What is this called? That'll be the brow line. This will be bottom of the nose. He's wearing this mask. And the mask kind of goes over kind of the top of his nose. You know what I mean? So I have to keep that in mind. It's going to kind of wrap, you know, you don't really see his nose. You kind of see the nostrils sometimes, but not really. So I'm going to do this and map out where I know the mask is. The whole bottom part of his face shows. He's not like Captain America where, you know, more of it shows. Going to lower the skull here. I'm going to go under the brow line, find the eye sockets. And I'm doing this super light. I'm doing it also with the side of my pencil. You know, when you do a hard line like that, it's a little bit harder to erase than a soft side of the pencil. For some reason, I don't know why that is, but it just kind of comes out better and more even. Ugh, I hated gum erasers. Anyways, I wish I had a kneaded eraser. I just don't have one right now. And going in here. Just finding the placement of where the eye sockets are going to be. And what I'm trying to do is trying to find the placement of everything first before I actually commit. Some people, like especially Jim Lee, likes to put the kind of that layer on the side, you know, where you can see his ear shoved in there. I don't. I put it a little bit right there, but not a lot. Right here, find a little bit of shadow pattern. There's going to be a shadow downward, even though he does have all black outfit. I'm going to find his eyes a little bit, again with the side of my pencil. Let's see. 1 second. His mouth. I'm almost okay with the placement of everything where I could just dig in, but not quite yet, almost. Gonna lower his skull a tiny bit, a little bit more. Find the other ear. Find this ear. Alright, I think I'm satisfied with the placement, so now I'm going to actually literally kind of... Hold on, I want to erase a couple of things over here. So now I'm going to go deep, and I'm going to start committing right here. So I'm going to start with his eye. And basically, if you don't know how to draw an eye, go to one of my eye tutorials. I believe I have something on how to draw an eye. Go search my videos, in the search box. But yeah, there's the eye itself, it's its own thing. Doesn't really have eyebrows, right? Because he's Batman. Normally, I don't even see where his eyes connect to the costume, because he wears black eyeliner. I'm gonna have a clear division over here, but between the plane of his nose and the plane of side of his, front of his cheek. Side, using the side of the pencil right here to kind of show the plane of the side of his cheek here. Gonna try to figure out the planes of the front of his face here, since he's wearing a mask. Oh my god, I hate this eraser so much. Sorry about that. It puts down more stuff before it starts taking out. I hate it. Right here, trying to be very delicate with the front of his face, because I am trying to figure out the planes. Gonna attack that other eye over there. He's looking too nervous. I gotta put his brow in there. Front of his head, side of his cheek. Really being kind of anal over here with kind of the front of his face, because I want to get that part down pretty well, you know what I mean? Before I move on. So I am trying to get that down. And this is like, again, a more fine art-esque version. Not so much, not as animated. Going down to his lower face. Actually, not yet. I'm saying, yeah, lower face here. His nose is gonna cast a cast shadow onto his lip, kind of. I'm not gonna make that super dark, but we'll see. And then, like I said, I'm trying to find. I'm gonna give him kind of thin lips, especially toward the top. If you also need to see how to draw lips, look that up on my videos. Go to the search engine. You know, I love that part. They have these little search boxes you can do to kind of search through just the page. You know, those are great. You gotta be careful. I want it to angle that way, but that would be wrong, so I'm trying not to do that. I only have his upper lip in there, so it looks strange. You put his lower lip. It'll normalize it. And just take your time when you're doing this stuff. It's a lot of it is being patient, because to be honest, a lot of the drawings, not always, but sometimes they'll hit this awkward point where they'll look strange for a while, and you just gotta fight through that. You know what I mean? Don't be intimidated by that. All right, trying to connect the halftone. I might leave actually this side really white. I kind of like that look. I just saw it right now, and I'm like, you know what? I kind of like that. So we'll see. Maybe like he's getting all the light from one side of his face. I'm gonna think about him in 3D. You're really trying to think of what you're drawing in three-dimensional space, especially when you're drawing like this. Or so I'm gonna think, if I draw a line from the bottom of the side of his jaw all the way up to his ear, right, his bad ear, what would that, what would that line look like? What would that like value look like? How would it trace along the side of his ear? All right. I am gonna go along here and try to get the ear a little bit, like the lower portion of his actual ear, his human ear, inside the suit, just a little bit. All right, let me see. I'm gonna find his other ear over here. And try to zoom out a little bit. So at this point, I got a decent amount in, right? So what I'm trying to do right now is I'm trying to actually figure out in my head, what's going through my head right now. My head right now, I'm going through these kind of thinking processes of like, okay, what can I do to take it further? Obviously, like this would be like an okay sketch. What can I do to make it like push it a little bit more? You know, or what errors are popping out at me right off the bat? Like like things like asymmetries, things like that. What are those? What are those things I need to think about? What can I make darker? What values are not symmetrical? What's going on with that? What I'm going to do is, since this is going to be light, I want this to look lighter. So in contrast, I'm going to throw almost everything on this side into some sort of value, but very light value. You always got to do things light. You know, we talked about this before. We talked about like you want things to slowly emerge. You know what I mean? Slowly. The reason for slowly is because if you put it too dark, you can't really fix that. It's really hard to fix. I mean, you can, I guess, you can try to erase it, but it's much harder to erase that than to just add a little bit more than to start with a white canvas, you know, area. He's probably getting some ambient light from this side. So. You know, so I want to squint, and I want to see kind of like a big white over here and like a darker over here, more dark overall. And I think it needs to be darkened a little bit more on this side. And I want this kind of thing dividing them, this like strip right here, because there's a point, this core shadow, I guess you call it. I hesitate to call it that, but it is a core shadow. Also, if you don't know what core shadow is, that I say that in a lot of my other videos, so go check that out. Sorry, I'm not. That's the last time I try to pimp myself out. All right, and so here, like now comes the let's push it a little bit. I'm gonna go behind him. This is the fine art part of it, really. I'm gonna go behind him on this side, and I'm gonna pull some value out of there, and that's really gonna make this lighter side look very light. But be careful how dark you go. I'm using the side of my pencil almost the entire time here. Doing it over here as well. But because it's the same value, I'm going to make it a little darker over here on this side. I'll do it on the front of him as well, but I have to make that a little bit darker as well. Let's sit back, take a look at it. All right. A few darks are popping out to me over here. This is really dark. I should throw another dark as well over here. I'm going to go with the tip of my pencil. Make it pop out a little bit. Pulling out some more darks in his mask. I see a little, this little oddities around this thing, like his mouth. I keep trying to pull this up. I'm gonna make this dark as well. I'm gonna make the focal points really dark, which would be around his face, around this area. If I had a better eraser, I would probably pull a real highlight out as well somewhere. I know I keep complaining about the eraser, I'm sorry guys. Going in there, trying to see how the light would react. Alrighty. I'm going to pull another dark over here and toward the bottom. And I think that's alright. That's okay. That'll work for now. So that's a fine art style of Batman. Please comment below. If you have any questions, please let me know, because I did a lot of things in here. I really want to know if you have any questions. Thanks a lot, guys. I really do appreciate it. Talk to you later, and see you soon.